Really short
First
hair.
time renters, empty nesters, this is all
Well, I
things
had
that
long hair, short hair,
potentially
like, when I see you on the
potentially might want to sell the
You're
house.
short, yeah.
No,
So, yeah,
it's not that, it's just, it's a long story.
It's really helped
On
me.
Instagram, you have a new listing.
I don't have.
It went on last
Yeah,
week.
I don't have my, I don't think I have my.
You did your own open house.
Yeah, yeah. For my first weekend, I was like my cousin. Yeah, because they want you to be the one that really sells it.
Right.
I have that issue with my
Yeah, that's the one.
Usually the first weekend is always me. And after that, if it sells, then, great. But most of the offers due tomorrow.
Four.
So we'll see.
4 bedrooms, 3 baths.
Oh, push this button.
We have a standard mirror. They shouldn't, but that would,
Yeah,
they would
abhi-
have.
right now it's
the
fine.
same thing happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to increase, I think, around 25, 30.
Oh, wow, okay. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
because, assume that will be the, let's keep it
Let's
20.
keep it, but
yeah.
I'm not, I don't think I'm gonna play the whole thing. Well, it's 7 minutes long, it's not terribly
If it
long.
hasn't arrived, tell me.
Yeah, and if you see people getting bored, then we can skip and then ask them, I'll send the video.
Who's the escrow?
It's 100%, it's right. Oh, no, it's
He's
100%.
always like that. He's one of the key speakers
Are you
at.
trying to do another one?
If you want, I was like, but then we got.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Gary Vee, he's CEO of Vayner.
Yeah, I give it a day once you do, be on the app about it.
And every time I get like a little boost of energy, I just go watch his videos. I'm ready to work. Yeah.
But that's what I need, that motivation.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do it today. Okay, can we schedule it for next week? Just because this week has been next Tuesday. Yeah, okay, next Tuesday. Sure. Yeah, okay. 12:30 next Tuesday.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
Let me check my calendar. I'm pretty sure next Tuesday is fine, but I'll check.
I have to figure that
Yeah,
out
yeah.
the right way.
A few more minutes.
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
Good, how are you?
First team meeting of the year that I'm attending now, so
Oh.
finally the kids are feeling better.
Oh, yeah.
It was just after December,
Everything.
flu kicked in, and 2 weeks my son was home with me, and I'm like, I can't even.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm first to the bathroom, but you don't need me yet.
Go for it.
Today's the third, right?
Today's
Yes.
third.
Already. I can't believe we're in the second one.
I know.
2026. It's like,
It's really fast, huh?
It is fast.
Yeah.
I tell everybody who has little kids, like they're in strollers, like,
Enjoy it.
enjoy it
Yeah.
because they grow up.
I'm definitely feeling that right now.
And I blinked and my baby's 22.
Oh my god. Wow. I'm still working with my 8 and 10-year-olds.
She's still a baby. It doesn't matter how old they get.
It doesn't, right? Yeah.
All right, shall we start? Okay, let's just start and ask people trickling in. So welcome to our meeting today. And as always, let's start with tell me something good. Anything that is you're grateful for, something that has happened, whether it's with a deal or on a personal side. Anybody want to share?
I am grateful for the many opportunities that will be coming my way soon. It's very vague, but like I'm grateful for my siblings, of course. But my sister and I, we went to go see some houses over the weekend. She's looking to buy a house in well, Sacramento-Dixon area. So we're just looking. So
It all starts with looking,
yeah.
right? Anybody else want to share? Anything good? Well, I'll share. I had a listing that came up last week. And honestly, I wasn't expecting that many people to be there, but we had 76 groups on Saturday and 54 on Sunday. So they're coming out right now.
Was
So,
crowded there, right?
huh?
Was crowded.
It was really crowded. My seller actually decided to show up with a box of donuts.
So who's got a listing they need to move up? If there's that many buyers out there,
I
right?
was so shocked. I always prep my sellers to be very, like I'm on the conservative side,
Oh.
right? So I always prep them, and she was thinking it's gonna be good, but it's not gonna, it's nothing like that. It just blew us out. Like we're out of them, yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Where was the listing?
Listings in San Mateo, so it was a $2 million listing. We did price it really good, but not crazy low or anything like that. But
Were they real buyers mostly?
so I want to say there was a good amount of neighbors that came, which is great.
Yeah.
Even if I subtract 25% out of that as neighbors, it's still a great.
Those
Yeah.
neighbors are your new listings.
Exactly.
Did you do any door knocking, spreading some flyers before?
I didn't, just because I'm trying to die down on that side of the business.
Okay.
But yes, you should definitely do that though. For me, it's more of this client came from a Sphere referral from a client that I've had for like 12 years. So you never know where the business come from.
Mm.
All right, family reunion. That's this month from February 21st to 24th. That's coming up. There will be a video that I'm going to show everybody. If you guys want to go to it. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of the headliners there. If you don't know who he is, I always watch him whenever I get a little down or a little unmotivated of doing my tasks, etc. So I just go on his social media, I just watch a random video of his, and I always get pumped up. So I will show a little video of him, doing a speak, so you kind of get to know like why do people follow him, and he's not a real estate agent, but he is a salesperson, and he's built an incredible company just from wine to now VaynerMedia, which is a media company, and very inspirational. RE Mortgage, Stephanie, did you wanna?
Yeah, so we are having a class, our February 11th. This is a class good for seasoned agents and new agents. I do suggest that for new agents that do want to learn and tap into more information regarding real estate. This is an hour of Zoom that you can kind of, it's open to all of us to ask questions, any challenges that you guys are facing in the market. So, if you do have the time for that day, please scan RSVP and just hop on.
Next Wednesday.
Yes, on the 11th. Is it Wednesday?
Are you presenting?
No, Michael Houghton usually presents on these kind of topics. I will be on, I'm always on these calls. So,
Do you-
yes.
Do you also have a 13th, a condo one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's coming on the slide.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's two of them.
That's good. Pop up.
Yeah, it's okay, I'll talk about it.
Okay, you wanna talk about it, just in case it doesn't pop up later,
It
or?
will.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure it will, right?
Oh, it's at the end. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
all
at the
right. And we also have Bold coming up. The first, for those of you who doesn't know, Bold is basically a weekly session for 6 weeks, and it gets you into productivity. It follows a guideline of what you should say and how to structure your business. The first one is free, so I definitely encourage everybody to go at least to that one before you decide if you want to continue or not. For people that have gone in it, they've always made their money back, and I am actually offering, if you finish your bold from the day that you finish, and you have 6 months to get into production. So I will give you $200 back for every offer that you've for every pending that you've got in. It doesn't mean that it has to close, because sometimes things fall through the cracks, right? And for when it closes, you also get another $200. So technically, one deal could be worth $400. Okay, and then a listing that is signed, and you have 6 months to do it.
And that money is towards the investment, towards the bold.
Towards the bold, yes. So we would reimburse you for
If
that.
I have two or four buyers, it won't work. I have to have another listing, right? You said listing.
Yeah, so either or.
Buyer.
So
Okay,
buyer
I
or
can-
listing.
I can have 4 buyers and I will get
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you don't have to,
Okay.
so it doesn't have to be
Okay.
all buyers or all listings, it could be either or, so I'm rewarding on activities, right? So if you get in pending And if that buyer, let's say if that pending buyer does fall out of contract, it's okay. That 200 is still yours. Get them pending again, right? Because I want to reward the activity of you working towards getting them into the finish line. And then once that transaction closes, it's another 200. So essentially, you could close 2 and get all of it back, or have 4 pendings and get all of it back, or 4 listings signed. You know, it doesn't have to be on the market. It needs to be signed though.
So, and you said 6 months after, for example, if I have a buyer starting from March,
6
right?
months from
During the bolt.
6 months. I'm counting it from 6 months on April 1st. That's the last class.
So do I need to wait to sign my clients before April 1st?
Oh. Ooh.
Because during Bold, I think they have their challenges
Yeah.
and calls and,
Let's
you know
do
what I mean?
from
Sourcing.
12, from 2.
So we either
So
start. Okay, so
18.
it's 6 months. Okay, Steve.
The limit in the past has always been, does the lead have to be traced to the bold activity?
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing it
That's a
after.
question for you to.
Yeah, let me think about that, and we could decide on it. But I don't want to decide right now.
I think while Tina is deciding, what I would advise is everybody go to the first bowl of
Yes.
2018 and
Yes.
and see what it's all about. Because I think you're gonna love it if you've never been before.
Right. Yeah.
And then Tina will let you know what the
Yeah.
what the deal
Tell
is.
me, and I will let you know. Just tell me.
Yep. So sign up for the first one. It's free. And we'll go as a group. I think we have 11 people right now that's going. So it's a big group. It's a big group.
12, okay,
12.
12.
12. We have 12 now that's going.
What else? Nobody?
13. Do you have 13?
Real estate is not a spectator sport.
Okay, so, sorry. This is the video that I'm going to show. It's 7 minutes long.
I can't. I pick up my kids on Wednesday, and they get off at 1:30, and
Oh, is
it's
this your Wednesday?
coming from Burlingame all the way
It's
to
Wednesday
I
for
would
6
love
weeks.
to go. I would love to go. It's just
You can rearrange or you.
I don't have anybody that can pick up my kids, so.
All right, so I'm going to play a video from Gary Vaynerchuk. He's going to be the key speaker at Family Reunion. I find him very inspirational, as I mentioned before. It is a 7-minute long video. We don't have to watch the whole thing. We're probably going to watch halfway through, kind of get the idea of it, and then we could I'll send an email out for you to watch the entire video.
Well, at 30, I started Wine Library TV. YouTube blows up. At 31, I'm on Conan O'Brien, Ellen. There's articles being written about me. Now they're writing that the business grew from $3 to $60 million in sales. I'm becoming this guy. I got so many goddamn emails from friends in high
Excuse the
school
language.
during that period when I was showing up in all these magazines and TV shows. And every single one of them was like, hey, Gary, you remember me from high school? Oh my God, you're so lucky. I wrote back every single one of them and said, let me just clarify one thing. I'm not lucky. I worked. I worked every goddamn weekend and every holiday since I was 14 years old. So you can keep that luck shit in your pocket.
He does swear a lot, but he's very passionate.
Every day that I live my life, I get 5 to 27 emails from people that are telling me that they are quitting, or they should quit, or are really coming to me as a last resort to convince them not to quit, I think, a lot of times, or maybe give them confirmation that they should quit. Hey Gary, this is Sally. I've been doing my blog now for 9 months, and I'm not getting the results that I like to see, or that I was promised, or that you innuendo. Should I give up? Is my content not good enough? Is my voice not good enough? And I think about it every time I see these emails, every time people ask me at conferences, I think about it. I think about how sad I am that I wasn't documenting my life or putting out content or doing the Ask Gary Vee show during those 5.5 years of Wine Library TV. So especially those 18 months when nobody was watching. The story that's never told is the story that I was building Wine Library to a huge company long before Wine Library TV, and that the first month that I did Wine Library TV was the first time that Wine Library had not grown 30% over the prior year's revenue. So not only did I have the patience to let it play itself out and win, it was a scenario where I was actually losing money by being patient. Many of the people that are gonna watch this video are not achieving what they want and are lacking the patience and think everything happens overnight. And that is coming at the cost of an unhappy life or no loss financially, just loss in time. Just coming at the expense of Angry Birds or House of Cards marathons or the bowling team or hanging out with friends and having a beer or reading a magazine or whatever the hell gets you off and excited as a hobby. It's coming at that expense. It's not coming at the expense of actual money or something or pain or, you know, it's coming at the expense of a luxury. And so to me, the insanity, really, and that's what I'm gonna, you know, the disproportional misunderstanding that there's not a person that you can name, not one. There's 0 people that you can name that had it happen overnight. Even the 9-year-old Stevie Wonder and 6-year-old Michael Jackson, there were years of work put in prior by their parents, by their uncles, even with the greatest talents, even with LeBron. He seemed like so young when he hit the scene. Guess what? He wasn't. He'd already been playing basketball for 15 goddamn years. Even though you all say to me like, wow, you did it. I didn't do it. I did it when I was 14 years old, and 15 years old, and 16 years old, and 17 years old, and 18 years old, and 19 years old, and 20 years old, and 21 years old, and 22 years old, which are all the years that every single weekend, while my friends went to the Jersey Shore and hooked up with girls, while my friends went fishing, while my friends hung out and threw around the football and lived the leisure life, every weekend, every single weekend. Let me just say it one more time. Every weekend, every day, from the day I got out of school to the day I went back into school, every vacation day, all of them, not a good amount of them, every day, from 7 a.m. to back then 8 p.m., every day, I was learning the wine business. I was honing my craft to be a good salesman. I was figuring out how to be an operator. I watched how my dad interacted with his employees, what I liked about it, what I didn't. I watched my cousin Bobby interact with the employees. I took what I liked from it, what I didn't. I was 30 years old before any of you ever saw me. Go show me the videos on YouTube right now that have me under 30. They don't exist. I was putting in the work for half my life, from 15 to 30, where I built an actual business. I put in actual work. And so if you want to tell me that every goddamn moment of my life between 15 and 30 is an overnight success, then knock yourself out. But that is complete bullshit, and every one of you know it. And so when you email me that you've started this thing, that you have the audacity to want it to be the rest of your life, the audacity, really the entitlement, that you think that you should be able to do something that you love so much for the rest of your life, that makes you enough money to be able to do it for the rest of your life, that you're giving up after 4 months, that you're giving up after 2 years. As a matter of fact, every single person watching this video should be trying for that moment for the rest of their life, period. You might hit pay dirt at 80, and cool, then you can really do exactly what you love from 80 to 100. My friends, it is a gift. It is a gift to wake up in the morning and be able to do what you want for the rest of your life. The way you do that is by becoming a quote-unquote overnight success. You know, the excuse that everybody uses to deploy against somebody who's actually put in work for the last decade and got themselves into a position where they can do something pretty rad that we all think is cool and we all wish we could do. You know, that thing, the thing that you say to yourself to make yourself feel better about when you're laying in bed and playing a goddamn game on your phone instead of putting in the work to achieve what you want.
We good? Are we all pumped up now? Are we ready to go make phone calls? call our spears? But yeah, I love watching him for a little bit of just a pick me up sometimes. If you could watch him just for like 2 minutes in the morning, it does it. I don't know what it is about him, but it does it. Next, we're gonna talk about advisors, Agent GPT. How many of you know ChatGPT? How many of you guys use it? How do you guys use it? I'm curious. How are you guys using it? Pat?
I use it to strictly rewrite Like in personal and business, it's rewriting.
Yeah.
And then I doctor it and say rewrite it, and I doctor it and say rewrite it.
Yep. Yep, it's great for that, and then Advisor's team has actually built out a code in the background, because if you go to the regular ChatGPT, it grabs information from the World Wide Web, and it's not always accurate, right? It's whoever that talks to it, it just keeps that information there, and then it trains itself from all the information that everybody puts in. So Advisors went into the back end and created codes and basically trained the ChatGPT specific to California compliance. So when you ask for questions to rewrite something, to read a home inspection report, which I'll show you to do, it will be, it's not going to be 100%, but it will give you the, more compliant, more lawfully way of answering your clients if you need to make sure that you don't get in trouble. So here's the link for that. And other than writing, let me see if it goes up.
Didn't work for some reason.
It just takes you to ChatGPT.
Can I-
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess I have advisors.
Can I just, can you just read the last portion of that? The last portion of that sentence says, and offering first pass analysis without replacing legal counsel. So offering first pass analysis. What does that mean to everybody? Sorry, I had to get involved.
Yeah.
You better read it.
You better read it. You better
Yeah.
read it. You better defer to experts when necessary. You better defer to legal counsel when necessary. Our clients make the decisions. We don't make the decisions. We put our clients in touch with the experts. All that stuff remains the same, even while getting a first pass analysis.
Yes. So as a first pass, what I like to do is, so a lot of times when we go show our clients homes, they always ask about, oh, what showed up on the home inspection report? Can you imagine we had to read through every single one of them before we even show the client? So this saves you a little bit of time. I do upload the inspection on there to ask for a summary. It's just a summary. Please do go read the whole entire report if your clients are interested, and make sure that you comb through all the details of the disclosures, okay? So this is mainly just to help you have conversations in the beginning while you're there and coming to the appointments prepared, to know like if there's a roof that needs to be replaced, things like that. Just basic information. What you do is you download the reports, you go to ChatGPT, upload the file and say, please give me a line-by-line summary. And it will tell you what are the major things, what are the minor things, and how many of them. And it's just one-liner. Again, it's just for a glance over. It's not the detail. Then you still have to comb over the information just to make sure that you're not giving your client wrong information.
And it's not for our client. So,
Yeah, you don't-
we always run the risk if we try to summarize something that the first party, the contractor writes, or the inspector writes. If we try to summarize that, I promise you that when you find the 4 points that matter to you, you'll miss the 5th point that matters to your client.
Right.
So we're never summarizing in such a way that it's offering it up as a definitive outline of the report. So, it'll help you familiarize yourself, the chat, right?
Yeah.
With the documents, you should still read it, and your client needs to read everything front to back.
So whenever, what I do is whenever my client asks if there's anything important that I should know, I always tell them that they need to read the whole entire report themselves so that they know, because sometimes like what Eddie said, what's important to me may not be what's important to them. But here, I only point out major things, like the roof needs a replacement. That might cost you quite a bit of money. HVAC is going out. It's probably at the end of the life. But I'm not going to go in and comb every little detail because that's up to the client to do. And you always tell them to read the full report. Another thing, go ahead.
I took that picture, came up on my phone, Advisors, Agent, GPT.
Mm-hmm.
It says login.
You do have to have an account. So you could just put your email out. It's a free account to use ChatGPT, but you do need to, because when you
So if
use.
I wanna log in, I have to put in my information like I would on any other app.
Exactly.
And it's free, okay.
Yeah, so the free version does give you a little bit of limited access, like how many times you could talk to it a day, or asking, like, upload the files. If you want to do an extensive, it's $8 a month if you want to. But otherwise, if you don't use it that often, only sometimes, occasionally, the free is more than enough for most of us.
Yeah, and what's really good about this in comparison to like a regular chat agent is that Rick had his team upload all of the CAR, like our actual up-to-date RPA, and he has somebody doing maintenance on it to make sure that the newest version is up. So a regular GPT or regular chat might be searching throughout all the resources of the internet in its own file system,
Right.
whereas this is kind of curated so that it is an up-to-date maintained. So, if you need to find the paragraph on, certain, what happens to seller's personal possessions at close, you can enter in some term, and if it's operating correctly, which we all know ChatGPT we take with a, grain of salt, if it's operating correctly, it should be using only the source material that Rick's team put in of the
Right.
car
If
up-to-date
you do
RPA and
find like a
whatnot.
little snag on it, let me know, because like I
Yep.
said, we have someone on back end always constantly working on this, because I like to create Excel spreadsheets with it, because sometimes we take a long time and like half the day is gone and you're trying to put in codes. So I just pop it in there, like, please create an Excel spreadsheet based on these parameters, and it will just pop it out to you just like that. And of course, you'll still go in and you will make its adjustments, because it may not be exactly how you like it, but it saves you so much time. At least the basic layout is there already. And it wasn't working. It would say, oh, it's done, and then the Excel spreadsheet will not pop up. So, if something like that happens, let me know. And then I send the email out to the back end, and then they got it fixed within like a day. So.
I'm assuming that this, since it's internal, it functions the same way as a regular ChatGPT, where if there's personal information as far as the HOA name, account number, whatnot, we can just kind of cross it out, mark it, and then have it uploaded, or is it okay?
It's so, like, when you log into your own account, nobody, like, the back end, like, advisors don't see it. That's your account, so it's only on there, and it's only saved into our little.
Okay.
Yeah. But then when you do log on, sometimes when you go on the Google desktop version, it'll just say ChatGPT on top. That's the regular version. There should be a drop down. When you click on it, you could click the one that says Advisor. If it says Advisors Agent 5.2, that's when you know you're on the right one.
Is it still subject to the limits on the number of questions and so forth?
Yes, it is. So, because it's the free version, right? We trained it, but again, ChatGPT still only allows free versions to use a certain amount of conversations that you have in a day, whatever questions that you ask. If you want to pay for it, I pay $8 a month.
And just do me a favor and yourself a favor. Always cross-reference, right? So if it quotes something or gives you a paragraph, go back and look at the source material. It's a helpful aid to kind of bring you, but you have to. I found with chat that you have to use some common sense and be thoughtful about double checking and cross-referencing.
Yeah. So think of it as getting the basic outline structure ready for you for whatever you want to do, but you still need to go in and define it and make it detailed the way that's accurate and the way that you want it. Another thing that I use it for is, do you guys script practice?
Talk to it like your friend.
You can talk to it as a friend, but verbally you can only do that. On the desktop version, you have to type out what you say. Okay, so it will respond. It will give you advice like, oh, what? And if you say you will type in etc., etc. It will give you advice on how your response was and if you need to adjust, which part of it is strong, which part is weak, etc. But on the app version, you can just click talk. Oops. Hey chat, can I script practice with you?
Absolutely, I'm up for it. Just let me know what kind of script you want to practice. Sales, interviews, customer service, or anything else, and we'll jump right in.
Can you be the buyer and I am the buyer's agent in California, and we're having a buyer consultation?
Got it. I'll be a potential home buyer asking you about my needs. Whenever you're ready, start us off like you would in a real consultation.
Basically, you just tell it what you want. And you can even tell it you could tell them to go easy on you, go hard on you, however you want it to respond so that you could practice.
This is awesome.
It's great.
It's scary.
It's
It's
scary.
scary and awesome.
Is it with the free version or the one you have to buy?
This is the free version.
Okay.
This is the free version, yeah.
Awesome.
And the thing with the free is not that it doesn't give you the capability, is that it limits you the time and the amount of responses that it feeds back, right?
Right.
So, in the beginning, you can just use it until it tells you like, oh,
You reach
you
your
max,
limit.
you reach
You
your
reach
limit
your
for the
limit.
day, you'll be able to use it again at
In
6
8
p.m.
hours.
tonight or tomorrow at this time, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that once you use it, you can't use it anymore until you pay, it's just they put a limit for a resting period. That's all it is.
Just make sure no other agent talks to that chat and steals that client.
Yeah.
And they-
Yeah, you can tell what tell it like the scenario of your client, everything that you want so that it understands your position of who you're talking to, and it will feed back the response that you want. Or you could tell it to, I'm gonna go door knock, I'm gonna pretend to be the owner that's opening the door. Like, whatever you wanna practice is there.
So cool.
I've got a new listing coming up. It's gonna go on the market tomorrow. My team leader's here today helping out with a variety of things. We have a virtual assistant that helps in listings. Got a lot of stuff going on. But somebody's gotta write a description, like on any listing description. Before I got to do it, or before I got around to doing it, my team leader did it, and he did it using ChatGPT.
Yes.
ChatGPT. It's a great description. I gave him all the information. It's been totally redone. So in the description of the listing, all that's reflected on it. It's a great job.
It's
And,
great.
So I gotta learn how to do
Another great tool, but I have to interject one more time and say, just make sure that you're feeding it either feeding it fair housing
Oh, I read it.
compliance, background info, or that you're checking it for fair housing. compliance.
The agent version that we have should have that built in place, but again, you still have to double check it just in case. And if it's not showing up as fair housing compliant, please let me know, because then I need to go and tell the back end to fix it. If you don't know how to use it, here's the thing about ChatGPT that's good. You don't need to know how to use it. You could ask it. You could literally say, I want to do this. How should I prompt you? What should I, what do I need to say to tell you to do this? It will, you can even just, how do I make the best function of you? And I'm still very polite to it. I still say please,
Yeah, I
even
do the
though
same thing.
even though you don't really need to. But I'm like, thank you.
What is app version called?
ChatGPT.
Oh, ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's ChatGPT. Just search for the app.
I thought when I was talking about interfaces in GPT.
No, it's just basically it has an interface within ChatGPT. As long as once you're in there, you select the right one. But if you just go to ChatGPT and download it, and then we'll have a links emailed out to everybody too, so that way you can access the actual link. And then once you access it, it should be automatically uploaded into your ChatGPT that's already logged in on your computer. Any questions about it? Oh, yes.
I'll give you an example of use of ChatGPT. I had one of my best friends, he's retired. He called me a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about annuities, and he was asking me some questions about his annuity, and so I said, well, tell me about it. And then all of a sudden, just the light bulb went on. I said, do you ever use ChatGPT? He goes, no. He goes, yeah, I didn't want to pay for it. I said, well, there's a free version. I said, do you have a scanner? And he said, yeah. I said, get your annuity contract, redact your contact information in your account number, scan it, upload it to ChatGPT, and ask it to summarize your annuity contract and any questions you have about the contract. Now, I haven't heard back from him, but he's going, oh, I never thought of that. I said, yeah, it'll read that. Who's read any kind of financial contract from front to back? If it's multiple pages, fine print. So I haven't heard back from him, but I know if he does it, he's going to get a very easy summary of that contract and all his questions answered in seconds.
And if you're writing description or even emails, you could tell it to write in any tone. You want it formal, you want it luxury, you want it casual, you want to tone it down, you want it easygoing. It will change it to whatever version that you want it to. There is one thing though, I noticed that when ChatGPT and ask for it to write anything, it likes to add little hyphens. And that's how I usually could tell if someone wrote it with ChatGPT. So I would go back in and say, could you write it without the hyphens? And then it will get rid of it. Yeah.
So Tina, I have a question.
ChatGPT writes.
So if I have it on my app on my phone, and when I click on it, it just gives me the regular one, how do I go to the
It
advisors?
should go,
It's like a drop down.
it's a
I think,
drop
right?
down, so once you go in, maybe you haven't gone on yet, I will check it out after.
Okay.
But it has a drop down and it will say, Advisors 5.0, and that's when you
Yeah,
know, yeah.
again, I hit that thing, I brought it up
Yeah.
on my phone and I started loading it up and I didn't see anything about
Yeah, the
advisors.
advisors, okay,
All
we'll send
I
out
see is
another,
ChatGPT.
okay.
I mean, I haven't gone
Advisors.
through
I have
the whole thing
advisors.
so far, it's all ChatGPT.
You have advisors on yours?
Yeah, but it is not 5.2.
And it doesn't
It's just
say.
by decision GPT.
It doesn't say.
It doesn't say 5.2.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Yeah.
We'll look into it. Mine says that.
So I'm like, how do you save this code?
And I think it doesn't keep the history of channels.
Yeah, cause I click GBT on my app right here, and it gives me all the ones that's trained out, so I guess it's. Alex?
Your camera scan that code. Once you have the app already, on the left side, it should be sections of.
Yeah.
And it says right there, advisor agent.
But we'll go through with you after, maybe it's the, can you check the link again, maybe it's going to the, it's going to the right one? Oh.
Emailing everybody.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So this is our schedule for this week, for those of you that wanna go to different classes and touch up on things. We're also having it in the front. On February 4th, this is the Bold Coach. Oh, and one more thing I wanna add about this Bold class, it's being taught, well, his name's not on here, but I know what he does. He's the one that created DTD2. So have you guys ever heard of the DTD2? It's a follow-up system that basically, oh, go ahead. Mahi, did you want to say
Yeah,
something?
I know DTD.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's basically a follow-up system that makes it very digestible for you to go through your contacts, and every day it tells you, you know, here's the last name. Last name starts with an A and V. You should be calling today, and then you go through all the lists within, I believe it's 4 weeks, and then you'll make sure all of them is in contact. That's it. So he's the one that actually created that system, so it'll be good to watch him teach. Rick is going to be here on Thursday, and we're having a top 20% mastermind from 11 to 12. For all the other agents, you're more than welcome to sit in. It's just, the top 20% will be the one that's really discussing, and then everyone else is more just listening in. This is next week's schedule. Harshita will also have this list, and it will be emailed out. Broker's Corner.
All right. I think that there's another slide. So I just, we addressed this a couple of months ago, and BRLG has addressed it, but I wanted to bring back up the FinCEN reporting. How many people know what I'm talking about when I say FinCEN reporting? Okay, more than I thought, actually, which is good. So, there's coming March 1st, it's going to be a requirement of escrow holders to check. Can you go to the next slide? To check, actually, you know what? Maybe I'll come over. The escrow holder, in certain circumstances, is going to have to do some kind of gather some background info for a class of buyer in real estate transactions. So what is that? So FinCEN is actually the Financial Crimes Enforcement Bureau, along with the Bureau of Treasury. The objective here is to try to track down money laundering campaigns when cash is flooding through real estate transactions. So there are a couple of criteria you have to be aware of. When you're working with a buyer who is purchasing their property as an entity, who is also purchasing a residential 1 to 4, and is doing so with all cash, there are going to be certain requirements from the escrow holder that they get them certain information and have it on record so that to be compliant with these new federal regulations. The good news for everybody in this room, and we discussed this once before, is that we are not the police here of this. We're not the person tasked, we real estate agents are not the people tasked with gathering that information, but there are potential consequences and repercussions that we need to be aware of. The person tasked with gathering information from these types of buyers is the escrow officer. So the type of buyer that we're talking about again is a buyer of residential 1 to 4 who's purchasing all cash, where the buyer is a legal entity, so not an individual purchasing, and the sales price meets the threshold, and the threshold's like $300,000, so that's pretty much everybody, right? So did you have something, John, or was that?
You covered it.
Okay. So really what's going to happen is within the first several days of a real estate transaction, the escrow office is going to reach out to that kind of buyer and say, you know, we need certain documents from you and certain information from you, maybe an EIN, some tax records, information about their financial institution, you know, some data to track the money that they're using to purchase the property. The obligation is for escrow to collect it, but the buyer has a contractual obligation. It's in the contract that they're going to comply with the escrow officer, and it's in an addendum to the contract that they're going to do it in a certain time frame. And if they don't do so, they're not acting in good faith, and they're potentially breaching their obligations according to the purchase agreement, and that's when it affects us, right? So if for some reason an escrow officer isn't getting what they need, and it is past 7 days past the time that escrow asks for that information, there are circumstances where a seller may want to send a notice to perform over to the buyer because they haven't actually fulfilled a performance obligation according to the purchase agreement and the financial crimes addendum to that purchase agreement. So as you I'm sure are gathering that while we're not the person actually actively policing it or having to get these documents, it could really screw up a deal, right? Does everybody kind of see how that could happen if we're working with a buyer who's not complying in a timely fashion with the escrow officer? As with any non-performance situation, a notice to perform would go out first, a clock would start ticking, and a seller could potentially gain a cancellation right. So for everybody in this room, what we want to be aware of is that this new regulation exists. If we're working with a buyer client that meets these categories, the residential 1 to 4, all of them, it has to be that they're meeting all 4 criteria. They're purchasing a 1 to 4, it's all cash, the buyer's a legal entity, and the sale is more than $300,000, then they're going to be subject to this requirement. And so we're going to want to make sure that we're having proper communication with escrow and with our client to make sure that they're getting escrow what they need. Because after day 7, theoretically, if these obligations have been met, the escrow officer could let the seller's agent know, and the seller's agent could send a notice to perform. If a seller is looking for a way to get out of a transaction, right? If a seller has maybe a backup that came in after your initial offer and it's a better offer, you know, this is creating a potential avenue for a seller to withdraw themselves from an agreement after the proper procedure. So don't give them that opportunity. Make sure that you're getting all that, that you're kind of watching your client to get all of that information. The addendum is here. It's attached to your purchase agreements now. It outlines the whole situation. Just give me just 1 second. Pay careful attention when you pull one of these up to paragraphs 4 and 5. Paragraphs 4 and 5 will tell you, let's see if I can do this. Nope, I can't. Paragraph 4 is delivery of required information. It says that the buyer and seller have within 7 days after receiving the request. Something I didn't say that I need to circle back to is that the thing that triggers this is that buyer that is the all-cash buyer who's an entity 1 to 4. But the seller actually also has to produce some information in those transactions for the escrow officer. So whereas it's the buyer's status that triggers the obligation, the buyer and the seller both have to provide information to escrow. The buyer and seller shall, within 7 days after the request from the escrow reporting person, needs to satisfy them. And the next part here says the buyer and seller agree to make a good faith effort to acquire those documents. the reality here too, when we're talking about these entity buyers, is that it's my understanding that the escrow officer is going to be reaching out to gather the equivalent information for the beneficiaries too. No, is that not true?
No.
Okay, because that's what more.
We had a class a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Lucy from First American came over and spoke, and I had raised the issue because in the BRLG.
Marty said so.
It
Okay.
indicated that if the buyer was a trust, that they needed the beneficiary information. And I had Lucy go back.
That's a
and
relief.
Talk to the powers that be. No, they only need the trustee's information.
That's
They don't
that's
need the beneficiary.
that's great, because in my mind that was going to be
Yeah,
a nightmare. So I'm glad that you actually heard about that, because our attorneys thought at that last call that it was beneficiaries.
They used the word beneficial owners,
Yeah.
but that was really referring to the trustees,
Not the beneficiaries of the trust. Okay, great. So so what we're talking about, to break it down for everybody in this room then, is that those responsible signing parties and the members of these entities that have the authority are going to have to produce this information. And then paragraph 5 talks about the consequences of failure to provide the requested information. And again, it reiterates the fact that this could, that the failure to perform in this way could potentially equate to a breach of contract, right? So I'm not trying to scare everybody here. It is escrow's job to be tracking this stuff down, but it is our job. We do a lot of kind of managing. I don't want to use the word project manager because we steer clear of that, right? But we do a lot of managing the process as we're working with our clients. And we do a lot of oversight, and we make sure everything's flowing together so that we can avoid potential cancellations, et cetera. So just be aware, if you have that client, give your client a call. Say, make sure you get that information together. Escrow is going to be requesting it. Let's get you in touch with the escrow officer early, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to bring it up one more time. We've talked about it a couple of times, but it is coming. Now it's actually going to be here, March. Yeah, Pat.
Okay, so you answered one of my questions.
Okay.
The other one is, this goes into effect, I think it's you said
March 1st. Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you write an offer prior to March 1st, it's all cash, all this stuff? Do you now have to go back and change some paperwork come March 1st?
So we'll defer to the escrow officer's needs here. So if you wrote, so I would say probably not. But if the escrow officer, if you're on the deadline of February 28th, call your escrow officer and say, this becomes required on March 1st. If you're going to be within the 7-day reporting period, the first 7 days of a contract, I would prepare your client to have it ready. But if you got into something now and it's closing March 2nd, give escrow a call, but I kind of doubt it. Let's let them answer what they need, though, because they're going to be the responsible party in the end. Yep.
Sorry, I kind of missed the beginning. This is part of the purchase agreement
Yep.
now? Okay.
Yeah, so this is going to be, this is an add-on. It's part of the bundle now. The way that the agency disclosure, possible representation, all those forms are part of the bundle. This is a part of the bundle. It's relevant to you when your client meets those criteria.
All cash or?
It has to be the bundle of criteria, all
Okay.
cash, residential 1 to 4, entity, client, and a purchase of over
For instance, I'm
300,000.
working with a buyer right now, he's a cash buyer. She is a cash buyer, no trust, no nothing.
She's an individual,
Doesn't count.
doesn't count, no. It's got to be, they have
On
to
the
be,
other hand, if she's got a trust,
Yeah.
but she's buying as an individual,
yeah.
doesn't count.
It doesn't. Something I brought up on our BRLG call is that I know, and I'm sure Steve knows, that we get a lot of calls as brokers about people wanting to assign over to a wholly owned entity within a short period of time of an individual getting into contract. If your client is going to assign it over to their trust, they should be prepared to provide the information. But if
They
they
need to wait till after the close.
or they can wait until after the close to sign it over the trust, yeah.
There you go.
All right, so you guys can call me too, and we can walk through it if anybody has any questions. But just be aware, don't let it get you caught, huh? So, yeah, call me.
Okay, so now we're just going to look at some graphs at the Tri-Valley. These are our active pendings and, just active and pendings. This is from 2022 to January of this year. What do you guys see?
More.
We're waking up.
We're waking up. Yeah, we're definitely waking up. If you go back and every January, we're roughly around the same spot on pendings. This is Tri-Cities, and this goes all the way to 2004. Okay. So I know some people are like, oh, wow, prices are so high right now that some buyers are on the fence of waiting to see maybe there's a crash coming and except whatever it is. So that conversation is always happening. I've been hearing that conversation for, since 2016. Every year they talk about it. But if you could actually show them like a graph like this and have them look at it, we are nowhere near that.
I know this is besides the point here, but of course, there was news that the federal wasn't gonna cut rates. I know it doesn't affect mortgage rates that much, but now with all the news that's coming in, Trump is gonna get a new Fed chair. I mean, do we see things getting really hectic for us when that happens in May?
I personally learned a long time ago to not try to predict. We can only use what we know right now.
Okay.
And also, there's an element of there are decisions that get made rapidly and kind of chaotically, so we'll just have to see what happens. I wouldn't start predicting for my clients.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely don't predict for your clients.
Okay. I mean, you have clients that will ask you, so will the interest rates go down? And we're like, I don't know.
No crystal ball here.
No crystal ball here. We really don't know. I mean, there's going to be 50% of the people that says it will, 50% that's going to say no. It's just really how they read the news and how they feel it's going to go.
I think this is when we work on our scripts around what the advantages of purchasing now are, right? Because there are other advantages and other reasons to purchase real estate now that aren't related to interest rates. So.
Yeah. My question that I always have for my clients is, why are you buying to begin with? What is their reason for buying? Because once you find out what their reason is, then it's not about interest rates or anything like that. But if they say, oh, I'm just buying it just to, for now because I'm renting and I'm going to sell it in like 2 years. Okay, maybe the conversation is different. Then you have to talk about a risk factor there. Right? And it's up to them to decide if they want to take that risk or not. But you could let them know if they're buying a condo versus a single house is going to be very different risk levels, right? So you have that conversation. It's not going to be based on interest rate changes.
One thing just to know, just as a little trivia, that even though the Fed chairman may change in May, Jerome Powell is still on the board until January 2028. So he's still there, and all the people that side with him are still there. So he's still gonna have influence, even though he's no longer the chairman. He's not going away.
Right.
Yeah, the new chair doesn't act unilaterally, right? Like the rest of the boards.
If you read the history of the new chair, he essentially has flip-flopped significantly over the last 3 to 5 years.
Right.
It's very interesting. If you look at where he was before and where he is now, it's almost 180 degrees.
And most of my clients, at least, are buying for themselves to live in, and usually for long term. Then the question is, does it matter to you then how the market does? If you're planning to be here for 10 years or 15 years, they'll probably say, I'll ask well, if it goes up, the price goes up, or are you selling it to make that money? No. Then it doesn't matter if it goes up or not because you're not taking that.
Yeah,
potentially
you've got clients asking about interest rate predictions.
Yeah.
How many people see the presentations by Jordan Levine, the CAR economist? How many people have seen those? Okay, go on the CAR and listen to Jordan Levine, our economist. He gives predictions for every month he's given a prediction for where they see interest rates at the end of the year. That's a perfect legitimate information to share with your clients. Here's what our chief economist of the California Association of Realtors is predicting with respect to where interest rates are going to be at the end of the year. Give them that. Okay? That's based on huge data. You can even go to your bank and ask one of the bankers to give you what the bank's prediction is. My financial planner gives me from Wells Fargo. He gives me what Wells Fargo has predicted where rates will be at the end of the year, because that's what's helping them make their decisions and advising us as to what to do with our investments. So there's plenty of ChatGPT could probably give you tons of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different authorities, and they're not all going to be the same. like, oh, this new guy's gonna, lower rates right away and rates are gonna come down. I mean, if you read most of the predictions I'm seeing is saying in 2026, we might see 5.5 by the end of the year. 5.75 is probably gonna be a good rate. May hit 5.55. I don't think it's gonna get to 5.25. Everybody's shooting for 5.
Right.
Because that's where we were pre-COVID.
Yeah, the reality is we're
But
never
no
going,
one knows, there's too many factors
We're never gonna afford
that
it.
affect the rates.
I think the big,
Way too many
the big takeaway for your client too is if they're waiting because they think we're going back to 4, we're never going back to
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
So like, that's the first place to start the conversation, because that might be where they're asking.
The reality is, waiting for the rate to drop makes no sense at all, because you get a loan now, if the rate drops, you just
You
refi
refi.
into the lower rate.
Right.
And if rate drops,
You gotta
a lot
be
of
more
times prices will probably go up
conscious.
too.
You need to be price conscious, not interest rate conscious.
Right. So we just have to educate our clients on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to joke around with it too. I like to say, well, if I have a crystal ball and predict that, I would be filthy rich. I wouldn't be here showing you houses.
Exactly.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I had a conversation with one of my landscapers, my arborist, my tree guy. And I've been dealing with this guy for years. And he just happened to, I gave him another address to go do a cleanup. And then I started telling him about the house. He goes, oh, that's a nice house. I said, he goes, how much is it? And I was telling him, and he, during the conversation, and I was explaining where the market is and where it's going, and during that conversation, he goes, yeah, I was thinking about buying about 2 years ago. I really should have. I said, yeah, you should have been talking, I should have been talking to you, and you should have been talking to me 2 years ago. Because he would have been paying a lot less for the house than he's paying today. Now, he realized during our conversation, he made a big mistake. He was waiting on the fence, waiting for something to happen, and it never did.
Yep.
This is the, oh.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But looking at the trend, we're like kind of evened out right now, right? Like houses prices are not going down, interest rates are high, so it's.
The demand is there.
The demand is there.
Demand is
There is one study that Gary shared with us years ago, and that is a 1% rise, a 10% rise in price is equal to a 1% drop in interest rate. 10%, 1%. Price go up 10% and rates drop 1%, you didn't gain anything except higher property taxes.
Yeah, exactly. This is a Tri-City graph, which is very similar to the Tri-Valley. So it's the same. Upcoming events. We have a Valentine's Day celebration here at our office. We do ask agents to contribute $20, and then we have a little celebration right here. And go see Harshita for more information. Oh, this is the one that Stephanie was mentioning.
So I'm having a condo class on next week on Friday, February 13th. This is just giving you in-depth information of what to look out for in the condo market, right? Last year, 2 years ago, it's been challenging. It's continuing to have those kind of issues at certain complexes. So just wanted to provide resources and educate you guys on what to look out for. Condos are great. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just educating yourself, right, to better serve your clients, so you can walk them through if they do have interest in condos. So RSVP if you can to attend. If this date doesn't work for you, there's going to be another one that's going to be held in Palencia Estates, which is in Burlingame, which is
that's the 19th.
That's on the 19th. Same concept, same material. However, with this class, there's going to be HOA partners and inspectors that's going to be there to kind of give more of an insight of what they're looking at. So you guys have 2 dates, to either.
13th is here in person.
13th is going to be here in person. I'll be hosting that. This one will be hosted by Michael at Burlingame. So you can choose which one to attend.
Lucy's having a strategy farming session here on Wednesday the 18th from 10 to 11.
That's old.
Sorry,
And then
oh
we-
yeah, we will be on the wall.
Oh yeah, we have both. Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
We'll talk to Lucy. Yeah.
Maybe reschedule.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay, and then we have a new Lunar New Year celebration on the 20th from 12 to 2. You can RSVP. That's a Friday. I'm not sure what this one is. So I'll just read it. It's a Tony Robbins Peak Performance Workshop. If you guys don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's a very, very popular, famous motivational speaker. Then we have coming soons. William Sweet has a coming soon in Moraga. If anyone has a client that's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, contact William. G2 in San Jose. And then we have just listed. Yang has one in San Jose, Holbrook for 1.76. Carl has one in Oakland on 96th Avenue. Steve, would you like to?
Got a Newark buyer. This is a great home. It's in Rosemont, which is a very desirable neighborhood of Newark. And I'm priced better than the one in San Jose at $1,595,000 and 1,866 square feet.
Oh, this is mine that I talked about. I'm sorry?
You want to know where that came from?
Yeah, where did that come from?
My wife grew up to the family that next door to that house. Now
Oh, really?
generation.
Wow.
My wife was actually the maid of honor in our wedding, and the wife is my photographer.
Nice. This is my listing that actually went on the market last week. I mentioned it a little earlier. We had 76 groups on Saturday, 54 on Sunday. And offers are due tomorrow, so if you have a client, you can still have time. Go today. But how I got this client, so I met this client through a past client of mine that I had 12 years ago that I helped them buy a single family. The fiance at the time introduced me to his mother, to her mother, who was very talkative. She just wanted to talk about, like potentially selling one of her investment homes in San Jose. It never got anywhere, but we will always talk every year. She always wants to meet up, and we always met up, and we always talked about, what should she do, and it's just always just talking. Like, oh no, we have no real plans, but like I was just wondering if we did sell it, what would this happen? She talks a lot. Anyway, she introduced me to her sister-in-law, which is, kind of, I guess her husband too, but it's really the sister-in-law that's actually handling all of this, who basically has this house that got passed down by their mother, who passed away, so it's a trust sale. So all these years, you never know where you're gonna get your next client, and always keep in touch with them.
That's a great lesson. That's
Yeah.
the long game, right?
Yeah.
It's a relationship
I would have
business.
never met her if I don't go on those coffee meets with the mother-in-law that never went anywhere for 12 years.
So how many paychecks have you gotten in 12 years from that woman? Zero.
Zero from that woman.
But is this paycheck going to look pretty good?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Question? Avi.
This one's not just listed, but just changed
But it's
price.
listed.
This one just changed price.
There you go.
Okay, that's still good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great townhome. It's been on the market for, I think, 24 days. Condos have been, townhomes, condos have been interesting. I mean, nowhere close to, even my total of the visitors is not equal to even one day of your groups that showed up. Right? It's been like 4 groups, 5 groups, 3 groups. Everyone's taking their sweet time. There's been interest. We've had 12 disclosures downloaded, but there is just no urgency, right? And so today I've been just reaching out to everyone saying, hey, you want to make an offer? You want to just get something going, but it's been around, but we've just dropped the price. Excellent condo. It's as a townhome, practically met at an open house. He came, I sold the next door unit, same unit. This guy was the neighbor, and he liked what I did then, which was 9 months back. And now this was when he was ready to sell.
Are you seeing a big change in the activity in just that 9 months since you listed the other?
Oh, yeah, I mean, that home, which was exact same home, this is, while it's the same home, this is better because of the location, the views, everything, the updates. That one we sold in 1 weekend. That was in March of last year. 1 weekend done.
And the price was?
And price was $1,020,000. So 1 year, and with the interest rates going down and everything, I think it's got to do, we talked about some factors. I think the other factors have just got to do with the fact that that's a perfect range for someone who's usually a first-time home buyer that is employed in tech and usually is on an H-1B visa. And both of those factors have been directly impacted right now.
Interesting.
So while the stock market has done extremely well, even though people may have money, I think the mental games are playing. What if I don't have a job if they're employed? You know, all of those factors are, I believe, are playing in that particular segment. It's not that others are not affected by it, but this segment, I believe, is affected a lot more by that process.
Also, there's people that are stuck
HOAs are
in other
420.
countries right now.
Oh, that's not bad.
That just increased, so it's not outlandish, but it
Yeah.
does cover.
The agency is
Yeah,
not bad.
covers exceed, they have a
Yeah, they
massive
don't want to take that
park,
risk.
great community.
420 is not bad these
Yeah,
days.
420
It
is
used
not
to
bad
be,
at
but
all.
That area is surrounded by all builders. This is Taylor Morrison, there is KB Homes, there is Meritage, there is D.R. Horton. This is, I think, the second lowest HOA. Everyone else is much more than that. Right? Yeah,
help
but
Abby sell it. Find
Yeah.
somebody for him.
keeping fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes. There's some interest right now after the price drop, but we'll see.
Ankar has 2-bedroom, 2-bath here in Fremont. Ron has one in Livermore. Oh, going back to Ankar's condo listing, this is probably a good reason to come to Stephanie's training for condos, because that one is a condo and it has its issues, right? If you, either as a buyer's agent or as a listing agent, if you could get in front of all of that before meeting your clients and understanding how it works, you could figure out a solution beforehand. And also
Great.
properly educate your client.
There are, just keep this in mind too, there are some investors out there that will consider, because of where rents are now, they'll consider condos in the low $500,000. Okay, don't rule them out. I sold a couple in Union City to investors in the low 500s. Okay, they will consider them. They won't just write them on. So, because they can't buy a single family home for anywhere near that.
Yeah, so condos are affordable, right? And
Yeah.
so even though they do have their issues with reassessments and litigations or whatnot, I mean, they can still get financing. There are just certain, additional terms to getting the financing. But yes, if you do come across, something like that, just let me know, and then I can give them options so that you can bring it to your clients to still offer them financing to purchase.
Condos got hit hard over the last several years with special assessments because of the balconies, insurance issues, high HOAs. And then, it's like perfect storm on condos. But to Steve's point, kind of our job is to find alternative solutions for our clients, and like opening it up to investors, not closing our minds and thinking they won't want this, get out there and make some calls.
And also, once the storm is over, condos are still gonna be out there. They're still gonna be for sale, sooner or later.
And if we look at some of these price points, kind of also to Steve's point about a $500,000, you're not finding an entry-level home, single-family home in that price range.
You're buying in the Bay Area, you've got great upside, great appreciation potential over time. It's not a bad play.
Steve, your land.
You got any buyers looking to build a sites up on Morrison Canyon Road. They all have, as you can see, they all have tremendous panoramic views of the bay, South Bay. Two of them are in this San Jose high attendance area, and the third one is in Washington.
Okay, one more.
One more, go ahead.
As I mentioned a little while ago, new listing coming on the market tomorrow. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, condo, single level, 1905 Monterey Drive in Livermore. It's kind of on the far side of Livermore. 1986 building, but if you walk inside the door, you'd think it was built yesterday, because the interior has been totally redone. New gas range, new refrigerator, new washer, dryer, new dishwasher, new microwave, new flooring, new lighting, new paint. Like I say, you have to see it and go, oh my God, it's nice. 625, and I'll be holding it open this weekend, both days, during Super Bowl. And we'll see.
Okay. All right, before everybody go, Harshita is passing out raffles right now. I am trying to gamify our office. So starting today, you guys are very lucky because I'm rewarding raffle tickets for every activity that you do, and meetings is one of them. Listing consultations, buyer consultations, all of those are point systems, and it's going to restart every single month. At the first meeting of every month, we're going to do a drawing, and the winner gets 1 free month of their monthly dues waived.
Wow.
So every month you have a chance. Everybody has a chance. But the more activities you do, the higher the chance.
$99?
Huh?
$99?
It's worth $199.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Wait, so whoever gets picked at the beginning of the month?
Yep. Gets it waived. So then it starts every month.
The beginning of March will be
yeah.
for this month.
Yep.
That's cool, I love it.
Yeah, smart idea.
Is it agents only or what? Agents only?
Wait. Yeah, it's agents only. Sorry.
So wait, where do we put the raffles?
There was a set, I think Harshita wasn't in the room when that bold conflict came up.
Oh yeah.
So she needs to know, I can't remember what it was.
It was
but
the 18 for Lucy.
something else, Lucid, right?
Farming.
Can I use a conference room? Yeah, all right. I'm gonna go look back. So, I'm not ready yet, but
I'm partial.
Yeah? Are you sure you don't keep this one?
We'll have a sign made, because we'll have a sign made on like what are the things that you could get points for, and then whenever you do that task, you'll get a raffle. Ask for a sheet of a raffle, and it goes into the bowl.
Is there a list of so every task is a raffle?
Every task goes in. Yeah. So again, you just want to do more tasks, so you can have higher chances. Of course, you could get really lucky and then do one thing. And then
So you don't want us to participate in me and Steve?
So this raffle for this visit, right? For this.
You have to give it now or
you keep half. I mean, you keep half because then you're gonna call the number.
No, so Harshita said different, guys, you need to communicate.
Yeah, in that box.
Sorry? You need, so we have only one ticket for everyone.
Yeah, that's
And you
okay.
just write the name.
You write the name behind
Oh,
that.
yeah, the name.
Yeah,
Don't
so
see
we
the number
keep
or
the
anything.
name. We don't, yes, no, we just give
Okay.
away.
Okay, but I don't have the redeem part.
She'll just call them.
And say, okay, Mayan won.
Okay, we keep this one?
Yeah, she's just gonna call the name in the. I think that's easier instead of people keeping track of their number. Because it's a whole month, right? So every time, yeah, you're gonna lose it. So every time you get a ticket, you just write your name in the back, and then for what activity that ticket is for.
I know your name. As long as you're writing in your handwriting.
To work.
So the open house you guys did, you had nothing and Pat had everything. Who's listing it? Oh, that's the one that she was asking. And Livermore, that's the living room. Here? Oh, okay.
Sure.
And you were here for the whole meeting. Attendance. Every month. So,
This is just starting. Okay, and we're meeting with Pat.
Whoever that's here got the extra.
Pat, where would you like to meet? We're gonna meet, where do you wanna meet? Probably in here. Okay, how do you go? Use the
Are you coming?